Hello race fans and welcome to Motorsports with Motorhead. I am your host, Captain Motorhead. To all the new fans, I just want to say welcome and thank you so much for your guys' time this weekend. It was an absolute blast out at Kansas Speedway. I met so many fans, got to be able to take some pictures with people. Everyone seemed to love it. I was having a lot of fun. Absolutely no complaints. The track kind of shocked me that they even let me in. I did not wear the helmet during the Cup race. I only wore it during the very end of the Xfinity race after people kind of left. So I made sure not to be in anyone's way. I did wear it during the ARCA race entirely though, and I will talk about that here in just a little bit. But first off, I gotta say I got to meet a really great guy who I've been a fan of for about 2 years now for ARCA. Of course, I am talking about Brayton Lester. He is a ARCA Series driver of the number 06 car, nicknamed the Pizza Man. He actually has a really cool pepperoni pizza helmet, and I've been following his ARCA story. Real cool, little small team. They do a lot of their own work. Even just this last weekend, they were literally wrapping the car in a Menards parking lot. I've seen them post on Twitter in the past where they've been able to do their work in other parking lots before. Small businesses, some chain restaurants and stuff. It's kind of entertaining to see, and it makes you really feel for them. It shows you the spirit of the ARCA teams, especially those small teams. It takes a lot to keep them going, and getting to meet him for just a few minutes that I did was really awesome. I sadly did mess up, and I didn't get a picture with him. I was with a work friend of mine. He was getting me in for the fan walk down in the pit lane area. I guess not exactly pit lane, but right down there by it. It got us down into victory lane. And so due to me trying to keep up with him, I didn't have very much time. But I do hope that I'm able to get back together with him next time he's in town. I even told him I'd love to be able to get together, talk more, see about trying to figure out, maybe get a sticker or something on his car for the next Kansas race next year. So I hope to be there for the next ARCA race. I had a lot of fun. I did end up actually up on the Jumbotron, which was showing what was being shown on FS1. Which means I was on TV, even if just momentarily from the back. And at the time, I did not have this. No, it was just blank. So it did not say Captain Motorhead or anything, sadly. So as soon as I got home that night, I made sure to be able to get that put together and add it to the helmet. That way, just in case I did get shown from the back again like that, it would at least show Captain Motorhead. But I had a lot of fun with it, guys. And just again, thank you to everybody that took pictures with me. I even got to take pictures with a Spartan, or actually a couple of them, and an ODST guy, all from Comic-Con. There's even a guy dressed up from Ghostbusters, and he's the one that got my attention and called me in for the picture. So that was awesome of him to be able to do. I did need to buy some over sunglass type things because they didn't have any clip-ons. And just real nice of the guys over at the Sunglass Ultimate, because both of them, they were brothers. They were real nice. One told me to go visit the other after he saw me in the helmet. And they were both just real good guys, and I hope they had a pretty good business going for the weekend for them, because it was pretty bright out. And first time walking up to the track, sadly my contacts have all been dried up. I need to get more, just haven't had the time to go get it. And I needed something to be able to put on, so really glad that they were able to sell those, because they didn't have any clip-ons, but at least they had something for people with glasses. So it was really cool there, and it did help me out a lot, because I literally wore them all 3 days, so it helped out immensely. But from there, I do want to say also that I got to meet Eric with Out of the Groove. He was a really awesome guy to talk with for just a little bit there over at Jeff Gluck's Tweet Up. And Jeff Gluck himself was really awesome again. I did meet him back in the spring for his Tweet Up then, and I showed him the pictures of me as Captain Motorhead whenever I did dress up for Halloween at work. So it was real great seeing him again. Both those guys are really awesome. While I was there, I also got to meet the Sparky Superfan guys, two friends that had never been to a NASCAR race before this year, have now been to every single race of the season. So really cool for them. Both those guys were amazing to talk with as well. Really nice. Can't say anything bad about any of these guys. I mean, you can't even try. They're all just super great people. Really cool to see them interact. We all got to kind of have some Q&A sessions with each other, and it felt great to be a part of that. All of them were real receptive of the helmet as well. Got some pictures with a few of the guys. Eric especially, got a picture with him, and just again, all great people. There was a group of fans who called me over whenever I was first walking into the track. They had their own little camp set up. I actually saw them back in spring whenever I was walking in, but without the helmet, it probably wasn't that memorable to them. But I did walk by, and they all had said hi then too, though. But with me being in the helmet, they called me over. Right before that, though, the first people that got my attention stopped me, of course, because of the helmet, and they had in their hand a funnel. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never been a huge drinker, so I've never done this before, but apparently it's called like a beer bong or a funneled beer, either way you want to call it. That's what I ended up doing. He poured the beer in. It had this little twist handle thing, so that was closed, so he let all the foam out, and then after a moment he pulled it straight up, and I turned the handle, and within about 3 gulps I had it entirely gone. I've never done it before, and that was the first beer of my day on Saturday, so fun way to start the day there. And those guys were really cool. And then from there, again, I went over and met these awesome people who later on in the day, as I was walking out to go put the helmet up before the race, ended up stopping me. They had actually just done a cookout themselves. They had a few extra burgers and some amazing dip that the gentleman who called me over, his wife, had made. And so I enjoyed some food with them. They ended up giving me a drink, and then I was on my way to the car to put up the hat for the Xfinity race for a little while. But just, again, some amazing people out there. I got to have some fun. They have this crazy-looking chair that has these pipes hanging off the side. It almost look like a giant engine type thing. So I got some pictures up on that. I did get to meet Ross Chastain as well. Got pictures meeting him. Real nice guy, Ross. He did sign his photo card that I have that goes with one of the Lionel Victory Lane cars. Not one of the big ones, just one of the 164. So still really cool though. Real nice guy. He did actually ask if he could sign the helmet. Won't lie, Ross, if you ever do see this, I should have said yes. And let me tell you right now, next time I see you, I will make sure to have you sign the helmet, whether it be this one or another one. I'm gonna make sure to get your signature on it, sir. So sorry for saying no to that, but this isn't entirely just my helmet. This is my dad's, so I don't want to alter it too much. I already had to put stuff on the front to cover up old logos. Stuff's just kind of taped over it right now. This isn't what I want to keep as the continued one, just because I want to keep this one preserved. In honor of my dad, he was the original Captain Motorhead, and I absolutely love him, and he's to thank for all of this. So without him, there would be no this. So I want to make sure to take good care of this helmet. So again, sorry though, Ross, but again, the next one I will let you definitely sign, sir. So from there, I do need to say again, thank you to my work friend. I don't want to say your name, bud, just because I don't have your permission to, but definitely thank you as well, because without you, I wouldn't have gotten down into the infield area on Saturday. I did get to go back down there a little bit on Sunday as well, but it was still amazing to get to experience that with you. I had been down in that area before for like good guy car shows back with my dad whenever I was younger, but never during a race event. So it was still really cool to be able to experience that as well. So again, just thank you to him. Another person that I do want to say thank you to is just going to be the workers at the track for letting me in. They were all really cool. A lot of them were commenting on the helmet. Whenever I would walk by, they were all talking to me and stuff. And as I was going in and out of the track, they kept stopping me to be able to talk. So just awesome shout out to all of them. You guys have been real amazing. The photographers that kept coming up to me were really cool too, having me pose and everything for them. Just really cool stuff there. Really glad the track didn't turn me away. it would have been within their right. I looked at the rules before I went, and yeah, in their rules it does say anything that is obstructive to others' views during the race will make you get turned away. So I'm real just glad that they didn't let me in at all, because they very well could have sent me away. So just I'm really happy for that. So if anyone at Kansas Speedway ends up seeing this, just again thank you guys as well, and to the whole team, you all were amazing and just so receptive of it. I can't be more grateful than I am. So just thank you to absolutely everybody. And from there, I do want to go ahead and jump right into it. I was there for practice. I was actually just recording a little bit whenever Ryan Blaney all of a sudden hit the wall due to a tire going down. As I'm walking down to be able to go do the fan walk, I actually had Joey Logano all of a sudden down on the apron because apparently he had a tire go down as well. So action right away on Saturday morning for me as I'm first getting there. Lots of fun. No offense, I know there's probably lots of Ford people like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, hey, I'm sorry, it's still fun to see. Especially right away in the morning during practice, some drama going down. It's NASCAR. Even if it would have been a Hendrick driver, I would have still said it was kind of fun just because of the fact I was right there for it. I mean, you don't always get to be right there for the action. At least I don't, Some of these other reporters and stuff that get to go around, I know that they get to enjoy it all the time. I'm just some guy, does this from his home, usually watches the races from his TV, maybe even sometimes his phone. I don't get to always be there. So whenever I am and I get to experience that stuff in person, I'm going to say it's fun a little bit. And keep that in mind later on in the episode too. So cut me a little bit of slack whenever I say something else is fun. But the ARCA race, I was there for it. Absolutely phenomenal. We had a couple wrecks. First one was, of course, for Bobby Dale Earnhardt. He did end up hitting the wall due to a tire going down. Happened almost right in front of the fans. You heard a real hard hit. I was right there listening to it. Felt bad for him, though. Really want to see him do well, but not going to do good every race. At least he wasn't injured. He did get out under his own power, A-OK. So that's always a good thing to see. Sadly, Corey Day, after having a strong night, even running up, leading the race just for a few laps, had his engine blow up on him. And I hate to see that for Corey. Want to see him do well. He was in the number 17 HendrickCars.com vehicle, and always sucks seeing one of those guys taken out in that. So, to him, horrible. You did have Brendan Queen, also known as Butterbean. He won the race, had started on the pole as well, did real great in practice. It just was his type of day from start to finish, and we had some great restarts. Thanks to those restarts was whenever I ended up on FS1. I was out in the crowd just trying to get people hyped up, put my hands up in the air, trying to get people to stand up because some just weren't. And that's kind of my whole thing. I'm trying to get the energy, some of the love back into racing. I would love to see the crowds more full, whether it be an ARCA race, a cup race, truck, whatever it be. I want to see the fans reel back into it, more like how it was in the early 2000s. I know the stands weren't always as full for the lower ends as it was for the high end, but I would like to get us closer back to that eventually, And so helping the fans get back into it was great. And yeah, that's how I ended up on the TV for just a minute. All of a sudden I looked up and I saw the back of the helmet. Just cool moment and real cool. I heard the announcers had said something along the lines of, "Oh, we need more of that." Well, I really wish that I could have been on there more, been able to talk to more people at the track, but sadly no. Other than the little security guard workers and stuff, a lot of them seemed like they were high school kids, maybe college, just a little bit younger than myself. Real nice people, but no one that was going to be able to say, "Oh, hey, we need to get him on camera more." So it was real fun still, but other than that, ARCA race, kind of not much more to speak on. The crowd, though, was real receptive. I will give them that. Going to jump over to the Xfinity race. Now, this was pretty cool. I've never been to an Xfinity race before. Whenever I was younger, I got to go to ARCA. I even got to see a truck race once whenever I was little. But until of recent, not very much Cup. And I've been to a Cup race at least once, if not twice a year. for the last few years running. So to actually go to an Xfinity race, especially with the guys we got on the field right now, Connor Zilisch, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, just to name a few of them, phenomenally amazing to see. Their racing has been so good this year. And I only wish I would have been starting this from the beginning to be able to cover all of the amazing stuff that's been going on whenever it comes to the Xfinity series, because just wow. It's a fun series. And there's plenty of drama, plenty of wrecks, don't get me wrong, but gosh, there is some amazing racing going on whenever it comes to the Xfinity series, and there was plenty of it there at Kansas. We had 3 wide, even 4 wide racing going around into all the corners. The restarts were real fun, real chaotic. You had a couple big things happen throughout the race, but just overall, absolutely amazing. Zero complaints whenever it comes to it overall, but let me go ahead and break it down for y'all, okay? The Xfinity Series at Kansas Speedway for the Kansas Lottery 300. Brandon Jones would start on the pole, with Justin Allgaier taking an early lead. Connor Zilisch, who had some troubles in practice. Now granted, for Connor Zilisch, troubles mean in practice his times are running 5th. Yes, 5th. That's how much he's used to dominating. That a troublesome day for him is running 5th. Now he would also be running 5th in the race. Again, not quite entirely happy with the car. Over the radio, he was heard talking to the team about some of the struggles he was having with the handling. Now, I don't know what the issue was with him, because Justin Allgaier, his teammate, was honestly flying through the field. No one could catch him. Not at all. Your Stage 1 winner, in fact, would be Justin Allgaier. It was his 12th stage win of the year. During the pit cycle in between, Brandon Jones would actually become the leader and would lead the field back to green. But Justin Allgaier would again shoot by him and take the lead. Lap 58, Jeb Burton would go for a spin and it would be the first caution for an incident. Justin Allgaier would lead the field back to green, but Brandon Jones would take the lead. Justin eventually would get back by him and would actually go on to win Stage 2. 13th stage win of the year for him. Honestly, that right there is pretty amazing. And that's why I wanted to kind of get to that point. 13 stage wins. He's second in points whenever it comes to true point standings. Not looking at the wins whenever it comes to right now, because there was no one advanced at the moment. Second in points. Connor Zilisch being his teammate first. 2 Junior Motorsports teammates. Absolutely phenomenal to be able to see. And again, Connor Zilisch also running in the top 10 all day and considers that to be bad. So he didn't ever drop further back, I think 7th or 8th. If it was that, it was only for a minute or so, and he was right back up into the top 5, in fact. Sorry. Brandon Jones would start first for Stage 3. But Connor Zilisch would end up taking the lead. First time for Connor Zilisch to be leading the race at all, after being so used to being out in the front. Now, for me being a Junior Motorsports fan, I won't lie. I was actually happy to be able to see Connor get out front. I was hoping it was going to be either him or Justin Allgaier for the win. Spoiler alert, sadly it was not. But to see either one of them having a good day, especially for points whenever this far into the season, now into the playoffs, heading towards the Roval, it's good to know that both those guys are pretty good on points. By lap 133, Brandon Jones would actually take the lead. until lap 155, whenever the caution would come out for Justin Bonsignor, who hits the wall head on after spinning due to contact with Nick Sanchez. Nick Sanchez, being a playoff driver, not exactly great to see. Looks like Nick did just get a little bit loose, sending him up into Justin, which of course Justin then spun out and hit the wall. Horrible way to end the day for him, and kind of got lucky that no one else really got caught up in it. Like I said, that would bring out the caution, and Justin Allgaier would decide not to pit. Keep in mind, this is only 45 laps to go. Justin Allgaier is one of the few not to pit. And I hear whenever his crew chief was talking to him, it's because they were anticipating another late caution. Well, guess what? Another late caution would never come. And upon the restart, Justin Allgaier, even though he was first, would decide to be up on the outside. Well, he got a great launch. Looked like it might have been a great call to stay out. Into turn 1, he's in the lead. Exiting turn 2, Brandon Jones starts to catch up. And by the time they were even on the backstretch, Justin Allgaier was fading, gone. Justin himself would end up placing 13th by the finish. That's outside the top 10, folks. When it comes to playoffs, moves like that just don't cut it. Now, luckily, like his crew chief had mentioned, they won stage 1 and stage 2. So they're pretty good on points at the moment. But man, knowing he could have been able to win the race if he just would have pit really is a blow, especially to any junior fan. It was a gamble, and it just didn't pay off. Horrible to see, but sadly that's just racing. The winner would be Brandon Jones. And honestly, pretty well deserved. Brandon was always up there in the top 5 throughout the race, and he fought hard there near the end. He locks himself into the round at 8 with that victory, and along with that, Connor Zilich placed another top 5. That ties him with the all-time for 15 consecutive top 5 finishes. So if he goes ahead and wins the Roval, or even gets a top 5, he will break the all-time record. And if he does win the Roval, he will also break the all-time win record for the Xfinity Series, which he currently also has tied at 9. He's a rookie. Going to be going up into the Cup Series next year. Absolutely phenomenal. At the end of the race, the point standings, Brandon Jones plus a win advantage. Connor Zilich plus 105 points. Justin Allgaier plus 68 points. Sam Mayer plus 43. Taylor Gray plus 16. Sheldon Creed plus 12. Carson Capel plus 9. Jesse Love plus 5. Nick Sanchez minus 5. Austin Hill minus 7. Harrison Burton minus 8. And Sammy Smith minus 14. Those are your 12 drivers, folks. Quite frankly, at this point, any one of them can still be able to make it above that cutoff line that are currently below. I don't think you can count anybody out. The Xfinity Series has had a lot to offer this year, and I don't think it's going to go downhill from here. Still going to be great to see, and I'm excited to know who's going to end up making the Final Four. Don't want to lie to you. With the way how points currently are, and Connor Zilich being almost 40 points above the second place driver, not including Brandon Jones with his win advantage, who I know currently sits in first because of that, you almost want to say you want to see him win. At the same time, though, the way how the playoff format is, it's still anyone's game. So, I don't want to dive too deeply into that. I'm just putting it out there. I still enjoyed it. Absolutely great first race for me to be able to see for Xfinity. Not very many shenanigans going on. Pretty clean. And quite frankly, I was very happy to see that. Now, from there, I'm going to go right into the Cup race. I'm not wasting any time tonight, folks. Won't lie to you, I'm a little tired. It took me a lot to get up and do this episode tonight because, well, I can honestly say that at my work, I at least stand for 8 hours a day, but I don't get to walk around the way I did at the track. And I was not in exactly the greatest shape, apparently, as I thought I was. So, gonna have to work on that for next year, but I am very sore today, and I'm not even gonna lie about it. And so I got up, though, still wanted to do this. Went ahead and rewatched parts of the races just to be able to know exactly what laps certain things took place on, and make sure I get all the names right whenever it comes to who's in what, especially when it comes to the wrecks. But being there, getting to see it live, not gonna lie to you guys, there is nothing that can beat that. No amount of highlights, no amount of race rewatch, nothing. Feeling the energy of the crowd, the cars going by, getting to all the smells, whether it be the fuel or the rubber burning whenever someone spins out, or even the metal on metal contact whenever someone wrecks out with another. It's amazing. And I absolutely love being there for it. So, without further ado, NASCAR Cup Series at Kansas Speedway for the Hollywood Casino 400. Chase Briscoe would lead the field to green, with Denny Hamlin taking the lead on lap 20. Lap 56, we get our first caution for Cody Ware, who hits the wall and destroys his entire right side. Yeah, I watched a replay on that one. I agree with Bill. It looks like maybe a tire started to go down, or maybe he kind of lost it a little bit and went up into the wall. A little hard to tell on that one. Still hate to see it for someone, especially so early in a race. You never want to see it in like that. I personally, yes, fans, we get excited for wrecks here and there, but I also don't like seeing a driver's day in that way. And whether a tire went down or he lost it a little bit, if only he could have hit the wall a little less hard, because it did kind of ruin the car for him. He wasn't entirely out of the race or anything, but he almost might as well have been. Contention to win, absolutely gone. Car probably didn't drive the same way after that. He was definitely not as quick as everyone else, so just hate to see that right away. But Denny Hamlin would lead the field back to green. And he would end up going on to win Stage 1. His 5th stage win of the year. And he would not lose any spots during the first pit cycles, would end up leading the field back to green. But Christopher Bell would end up going on to take the lead, with it being a Toyota type of day. Not going to lie to you, from the very get-go of the race, I really thought it was going to be Toyota's race to win. And if you've already seen the recaps, you know where this is headed. Shh, maybe others don't. Let them dream just a little bit longer. But before they could be able to complete a single lap, wreck in turn 4 as John Hunter Nemechek and Ryan Preece make contact. Ryan Preece got tight, slid up the track into John Hunter, and both end up sliding down through the grass. Luckily, neither driver had major damage. I did see that both of them kind of had some of the body tape added on to their cars later on. But that was really about it. Each went a lap down, but they were at least able to continue on through the race. Did, however, bring out the caution, though, and we'd have to rack them up again to be able to restart. Christopher Bell would lead the field back to green and would hold the lead until Denny Hamlin takes it during the green flag pit cycle. He would be considered first, although technically showing as second. He would go on to win stage 2, which would be his 6th stage win of the year. Denny would end up leading the field back to green. At lap 211, J.J. Yealy will lose it on the front stretch and go for a spin into the grass, and then end up taking the grass all the way to the pits. They didn't call the caution quite right away until it didn't look like he was going to be able to make it out of the grass, but then was able to and all the way to the pits. So, a little bit of a late caution, but at the same time, I almost see why they wanted to wait a moment, because if JJ could have just kept it going with a little bit more momentum there at the end, maybe they wouldn't have had to throw it, because they could have seen that they were making it all the way to the pits. But almost looking like they were going to be able to get stuck. Definitely, for safety, throw the caution just to be on the safe side. So, for anyone that was a little bit upset, because I saw a few fans like, whoa, why throw it then? Should have thrown it earlier, not at all. Whatever. It's NASCAR, people. We got to worry about safety. And whenever they don't, quite frankly, people get upset. But whenever we do, people get upset. I don't get it. Can we not all be nice? Can we not all try to be happy? Be happy fans. It's not it's not the last time I'm going to talk about fans being upset about a call either. So just bear with me here, people. Then he would end up leading the field back to green, but a big crash into turn 1. Cars were starting to get stacked up, and it became bumper cars, people. Austin Cindric would start to get turned, would end up bumping into Joey Logano, turning him as well, with Kyle Busch and AJ Allmendinger taking some major damage. There were some other cars involved too. It was major chaos. Another caution. Absolutely crazy. The restarts, man, they were something else at Kansas this past weekend, everybody. From there, Denny would lead the field back to green again. And with 29 to go, over the radio, Denny's talking about having no power steering. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I maybe jinxed Denny, everybody. With about 20 to go, I was texting a good friend, just kind of screwing around with her, saying things like, well, your boy's leading the race, but I said, but your boy's leading the race. Unless there's a caution, I honestly think Denny has won it. 5 laps later, Kyle Busch blows a tire. Can't get pit road time. Tire carcass goes on out. Well, I am sorry. Well, not to worry. Denny's for sure going to have a great pit cycle, right? Go right back out in first place. No! Denny ends up losing 5 spots on pit lane during the pit cycle while under yellow. To any Denny fans out there watching this again, I am truly sorry. I feel like I owe you all a drink. Don't hold me to that though, just saying I feel like it. With 9 to go, the field would go back to green, led by Christopher Bell. And with 8 to go, we'd have a caution for Carson Hocevar getting spun. Some people love to see it, others hate to see it. I won't lie, when it comes to Carson Hocevar, I do like him. He's got a great social media output out there. Of course, he's got the Dale Senior car, not the real one, just some little replica that you could be able to drive around. It's not really a car, it's a truck. And I saw he does have some other, I didn't see exactly which one it is, but another NASCAR replica type car too. Seen a picture of his garage, it even looks like an F1 type replica or Indy car in there. Some crazy big truck. Dude's got some really cool stuff. Absolutely fun in interviews, so whether you love him or hate him, you gotta admit he's got a great presence in NASCAR right now. But he ends up hitting the wall, spinning out. Some decent damage to him. And this right here is where some fans kind of got upset. First, you thought it was going to be about a 5-lap shootout because they were able to clear the track and everything. Then you thought it was going to be a 3-lap shootout. Well, all of a sudden, the field just keeps kind of going around in circles under yellow, and the announcers finally come up. We're getting an overtime restart, with one of the laps being considered overtime, the other one being what would have been the original end of the race. At first, no one was complaining too much, but there was a few fans kind of griping down in front of me. Well, it actually led to the biggest wreck that I have personally ever seen in person itself. I watched Ryan Newman's wreck at Daytona in 2020 on my phone. Actually, I was at work that night. I was able to watch it on my phone. I don't work there anymore, so I'm okay with saying that, I feel. But that was a horrible wreck, obviously. But in person, I've not seen something like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Overtime restart. 2 to go. Bubba Wallace leads the field to green. All top 5 vehicles, by the way, are Toyotas. 3 JGR cars, 2 2311 cars. You're thinking, wow, it's been a Toyota dominant day, everybody. This is going to be a crazy overtime between the 5 of them. Surely one's going to get to come out on top. Well, going into turn 3, before we even complete a single lap, John Hunter Nemechek ends up door slamming Zane Smith into the wall entering turn 3. Now, John Hunter Nemechek doesn't lift off the throttle and ends up pushing the 38 of Zane up onto its side on the wall. And due to the momentum of the car, it actually goes flying around for almost the entirety of turn 3 and 4. The back end finally starts to come out from behind, and then the car rolls twice, with the second roll being a little bit more violent from how it landed due to the first roll. Now, luckily, Zane Smith was okay, did get out of the vehicle in his own power, was looked at by the infield care center, and then later on released for his interview. Well, wow. Absolutely insane to see. Never have I ever thought I would see something like that at Kansas Speedway. I know that there's been some big wrecks in the past and everything, but with the way the cars are now, I really never expected to see a rollover. And this was a weird rollover. Don't get me wrong, it had nothing to do with how the cars were set up. He got up in there, it was a weird angle, and I've always been a fan of YouTube. Gray Still Plays. I don't know if a lot of you know who Gray Still Plays is, but he plays a lot of Grand Theft Auto, and people make custom maps for him. And in that game, he does what's called wall riding. And I thought about this too when Ross Chastain did that crazy video game move, and he did the wall ride as well. But this one looked a lot more like how it actually is in the video games for Gray. He ends up hitting a ramp in a certain way, or even being able to just bounce himself up on a wall by hitting it at a certain angle. And he used the momentum of the car, plus sometimes actually able to get traction on the wall to then swing around an entire wall. Sometimes even had to do what's called a wall transfer. So seeing something like that in real life in NASCAR, I truly never thought. It blew me away, and I'm truly glad that the driver's okay. I won't lie, I was one of the fans that started cheering and everything. I mean, again, you just don't see that. I've seen the replays of it. You see, one of my favorite ones is where you actually see the car coming around, and someone's recording it from their phone, and another fan actually goes and puts his arms up, "Wah!" And I've seen some people put some captions on that, kind of like, as if it's like a rap title or something. And it's pretty hilarious to me. The moment I saw it, all I could think of, well, this is America. Absolutely phenomenal. It's the only type of place you can see something like that. And for all those people that told me it was their first race ever, those that were from Australia or other places, I had some people tell me they were from Texas or some from Iowa, coming down for their very first race ever. They got to see something like that. It's absolutely crazy. And I hope that it was able to capitalize on a great weekend for them altogether, especially they were there for the ARCA and the Xfinity race as well. Every race had a little bit of action in it, and it was crazy to see that. I mean, just absolutely bonkers, y'all. I was just shocked. And again, so happy that the driver was okay. And we were under red flag, which doesn't happen in Kansas very often either. So, just absolutely crazy. Again, so glad that he's okay. It's not something that should have happened. I really, I don't understand what on earth was going through John Hunter Nemechek's mind there. I know you're trying to race for a win or trying to be at least get a better position for your at, but man, they were back mid-pack. I just don't get it. And he ended up taking out Josh Berry and Ty Gibbs. I mean, so you took out others in it too. Not exactly what you want to be doing. So absolutely kind of crazy from him. Led to a crazy moment. I've seen all the replays. The in-car camera absolutely blows you away. All of it does. They even showed one camera showing from the side view of the track, and you see his car come flying by. I mean, just absolutely insane, people. If you've not seen any of the replays and you were at the race, make sure you go watch the replays. If you just haven't seen it in general, please go look it up. Just type in NASCAR on your search bar there up at YouTube, and I guarantee you're going to go right to it. If you got them on Twitter or anything else, they've posted plenty of views of it. Just go check it out. You know, I should try and figure out how to do links and stuff like that. I'll work on that. You know, I'm still very new to this. This is still just the second video podcast, episode 10 of Motorsports with Motorhead. I think I may have forgot to say that at the beginning, but yeah, this is episode 10, y'all. So from there, we go into what would become the second overtime restart and the final restart of the race. You had Bubba Wallace leading it. Still, all top 5 are Toyotas. Again, all top 5 are Toyotas. Letting that sink in. 2-lap shootout. All top 5 Toyotas. The guy that ends up winning the race would restart 8th. He even had another Chevy in front of him. On the restart, it'd be Chris Bell and Bubba Wallace on the front, with Bubba Wallace being scored in the lead. The two of them would race hard for the first lap. They would kind of make some contact going into turn 3 and 4. Christopher Bell would bounce off the wall a little bit and he would fade quick. Kind of out of it. Bubba, being in the lead going into the final lap, would only have Denny Hamlin to worry about coming up behind him. Denny would end up catching up to Bubba with Chase Briscoe right there behind them. Honestly, again, me sitting there, I'm thinking, wow, it's going to be Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, or Denny Hamlin. Looking more like Bubba Wallace, though, at the moment. Or Denny. Those are really my top 2 at the moment. I'm like, oh, that's going to be one of the 2. No. Going into turn 3, Denny Hamlin gets a little bit tight. Now, with 29 laps to go, as mentioned, he didn't have any power steering left. So I think that had a little bit to do with why he ended up getting up into Bubba Wallace. They make a little bit of contact, sending Bubba to bounce off the wall. And at the same time, Denny would go down the track, making slight contact with Chase Elliott, who just wasn't going to lift. That's what he even said after the race. I wasn't about to lift. I don't blame you, Chase. You bounced off Denny, and you blew across the finish line first. Absolutely crazy way to end such a chaotic race with one of the most insane cautions that I've ever seen. All for that, Toyota, who had such a dominant day, walks away with nothing. You almost feel bad for him. I feel bad for Denny Hamlin fans. Like I said, I almost feel like I cursed him on that one. But by golly, that's racing. And that, quite frankly, was just phenomenal to see. Shane Van Gisbergen, even though he put Alex Bowman into the wall, I got to give him props. Top 10 finish. He finished 10th. First time for him at an oval in the Cup Series. Pretty cool to see. I still think next year he's going to be a contender and someone we need to look at a little bit more closely. A lot of people think he's only good for road courses. I think Kansas proves there's a lot more to him. And before you go, well, top 10, whatever, hectic race. Hello? He started a lap down due to a penalty. I watched him go down pit lane, lose a lap right away, and yet he finished in the top 10. Absolutely amazing to see. After the race, Bubba Wallace would end up showing his displeasure to his team owner, Denny Hamlin, putting a gesture outside the driver window. For those of you that are a little bit older, you know what I'm talking about. It's the bird. Oh, Bubba Wallace. Pretty bold move, man. Flipping off your own team owner. I mean, I get it, though. You're upset. You're below the cut line by quite a bit. Your only hope really was to win. And with us going to the Roval for the cutoff race, well, this might have been his last chance to really win his way into the round of 8. And with Bubba Wallace now being below the cutoff line with negative 26 points, and even the true reporters like Jeff Gluck and Bob Pockers have mentioned, negative 20, you're pretty much a need-to-win situation. So he's got to be hoping that SVG doesn't just dominate another road course. And so far, he has been the road king this year. So we'll have to really wait and see what happens next week for that one, folks. But standings at the moment, Chase Elliott, win advantage. Ryan Blaney, win advantage. Kyle Larson, plus 54. Denny Hamlin, plus 48. Christopher Bell, plus 44. William Byron, plus 40. Chase Briscoe, plus 21. Joey Logano, plus 13. Below the cutoff, Ross Chastain, minus 13. Bubba Wallace, minus 26. Tyler Reddick, minus 29. Austin Cindric, minus 48. Now, one last thing I do want to mention, because it happened a little bit later on, was on Denny Hamlin's podcast. I like this quote from him. On Sunday, I am the driver. I was racing the 23 the same way I'd race anybody in that moment. Joe, kind of in parentheses here, Gibbs, pays me a lot of money to make sure that car wins a championship or has a chance to. Well, yeah, of course he's going to race him hard. And I agree with Denny on that. Any fan that's upset because of the fact that he does own the car that Bubba Wallace races in, and he raced him hard, I don't understand that. He might be the team owner, but he's also a race car driver. And until he hangs up the gloves and starts just being on the sideline, in the pits or up in the stands, he's going to keep racing hard. And he's going to keep racing for a championship. He doesn't have one yet, folks. This might be the year. And he's basically admitted that he's only got 2 years left. What if this is his last chance to truly make the playoffs and be able to for sure get a chance at the victory he's always needed, where he's in the round of 4 and he wins at Phoenix to be crowned a NASCAR Cup Series champion. I know for any Denny fan out there, they want it. I respect them. Even I want it at this point. Whether this be the year or not, I don't know. I have to wait to be seen. But now I'm a little worried for him. He's upset Ty Gibbs and now Bubba Wallace. I think if Bubba gets eliminated, well, I don't know, folks. Would he risk it all to take out his own team owner at one point just to be able to prove a point? Or does Ty Gibbs end up taking out Denny and ruining yet another shot for his grandpa to have more than just one car in the Final Four? We'll have to wait and see on all that, folks. For tonight, though, that is going to be it. Sorry this came out a little bit later than I anticipated, but it really kind of was a recovery day as well. Wearing this for 3 days did take a bit of a toll. This has been Motorsports with Motorhead, episode 10. Again, thank you all that are brand new to this. Hope you continue to tune in. Until next time, everyone, stay safe out there. And peace out.